Today we are looking at side address and top address microphones. So I've got a range of microphones in front of us. These two here are dynamic microphones and these two are condenser microphones. So that is different operating principles, and we're describing the way that they work. But the different microphones and sometimes different just designs in general position the diaphragm in different places in the microphone body. So what this means is that we need to know where the diaphragm is and what direction it's pointing in order to position the microphone differently and get the best sound depending on the design. So for example, this one here, if we could see in there, the diaphragm is in the middle and it is pointing out this way. So to correctly address this microphone, to talk into it or to play an instrument into it, the sound needs to travel through the microphone this way. That is different from this one here, the SM57, which is top address, and so the microphone needs to be facing like this, and with sound traveling into the diaphragm here, because the diaphragm is flat underneath this grill here. So there's kind of a misconception that all dynamic microphones are top address and that all condenser microphones are side address, but that is incorrect. Okay, so this here, our Sennheiser E609, this is a side address dynamic microphone. So the sound needs to travel through here in order for this microphone to be working correctly. And this is our C02, which is a condenser microphone, and this is the top address as well, so the diaphragm is behind this grill and sound needs to enter it through here for the microphone to capture it correctly. So the top address microphones, we address from the top, and remember to address means to talk, so it could be for talking, it could be any instrument. So top address in the top and side address through the side of the microphone. So some side address microphones that we've got here: Sennheiser E609, the Audio-Technica AT2050. I've also got a Rode NT1 in the cupboard. And then our top address microphones, the Samson C02, Shure SM57 and SM58. So if we get it wrong, if we're using a microphone like this and we're talking into the side here, we're just not going to pick up the treble frequencies. They're going to pass over and not get picked up correctly. So if you see someone using a top address microphone like this and speaking directly into it, you're going to get the best sound, or at least the most accurate sound, and as it turns you get less and less of the treble frequencies and just the bass and middle, which means that you end up with a duller sound, a darker sound, and especially if it's a voice, you can't really make out the details of what is being said, which can make it really hard to understand. So, if we're recording an instrument, that doesn't really matter. It's just good to know that this is going to get us the most treble frequencies, and over here we're going to get less and less. But for a voice especially, it's important that we get that correct. So that is called off-axis coloration, when you address a microphone off the axis that it's designed for, and the sound gets darker. Cool. That's the whole thing.